All right, Summer Dean is with us. Thank you so much.
Me.
First time on the podcast, and it's my first time seeing you today at Byrd Creek Music Festival. So,
It's my first time here.
yeah.
I needed it. Things are so dry in Texas that all this green, even the humidity, I almost welcome it because the things are so dry in Texas right now that I'm grateful to feel the wet air. You know,
It's kind of been crazy. It's Jason that throws this here. He was telling me they've been in a drought actually until like this week. And same with me at home. I'm from Indiana. We've been over a month of just no rain. The garden's rough, you know.
And it's not getting any better. Yeah, our
stuff's
tanks
not growing.
tanks are low, man. Tanks are real low.
Yeah. So to start, I think we should start at the beginning of where you're from, how you got into music, what your influences, you know, all that good stuff, and I definitely want to hear about the ranch life. Like,
okay.
who doesn't grow up wanting to be a cowboy or something, you know, and you actually living that sort of lifestyle. So.
I live in Fort Worth now. I lived in Fort Worth for about 15 years. But I'm from Jacksboro and Henrietta, which I guess the nearest town in Texas would be Wichita Falls. We're only a county away from Oklahoma. So we're in North Texas. And I've always kind of played music. Mom played music in the church, and it just kind of, she played piano in the church, and I took piano from a young age, learned theory really young, and would write songs just out of nature happening, you know, out of naturalness. But and I went to school. I did never take my music career seriously until my mid-30s. I'm 42 now. I quit my full-time job at 39, and so I never do anything in a straight line. I never do. I always do loops and go around, and so that's how my career has gone, extremely in loops, just curving around everything.
I didn't know that about you. I didn't know you started that.
Yeah, I always did it. I wasn't green in my mid-30s. You know, I'd always kind of been a part of it. I didn't take it seriously and like really turn it into a business until my mid-30s.
Right. More of like a side project.
It was just
for fun and
a hobby. Yeah.
Okay.
Or just just whatever. I just didn't think that's what women in the South did if you were a wife and a mama. You know, so I just kind of switched my brain and did what I wanted to instead of what I was supposed to do. So it took me to my mid-30s to figure that out. But I kind of like it. I kind of like it. It's become part of my brand. You know, I feel like a woman among girls, and I like that. And there's a lot of living in my voice and in my songs, and because there's a lot of living there.
Well, that makes it authentic.
Yeah,
you know?
I guess. Yeah.
That's what I hear when I listen.
Good. Yeah.
Everybody's
Everybody's music is authentic because everybody's making it, you know. But I don't know how you would do it if it wasn't your true self, you know.
Yeah.
For sure, I don't know how you could do it every day.
No, that would get old really fast.
It sure would. I'd be real mean, probably.
Yeah. So what bands and stuff were you listening to growing up? You said you got influences from the church and your mom, and but what was like on the radio?
Well, I grew up with Western swing. I grew up Bob Wills was king, and you know, roller skated in the driveway to sleep at the wheel, and so I grew up on Western swing, and then I found honky tonk. People that aren't as you're probably if you're watching this, you're probably a country music person, but people that aren't quite as into country music, it's just like rock and roll. Is it like that's one big umbrella genre, and then within it there's a lot of country music is a gigantic umbrella, and then there's all these, and you can nerd out and get really particular on that. But so I was raised on Western swing, and then I found, you know, I was raised in the 80s and the 90s, so we didn't have Spotify or YouTube or anything to really go out and like study,
explore
deep down into it. So I listened to a lot that was on the radio in the 80s and 90s, and that's a big influence on me. Early Reba, you know, and early George, like straight country George.
Yeah.
Everything from Easy Come Easy Go and earlier. But on George. But, you know, and then I found honky tonk music in college, and then was a waste ever since.
Well,
I remember stepping into my first honky tonk. This is going to sound like I'm making it up, and I'm not making it up, but I remember stepping into my first honky tonk. I was 19 years old, and I had on a little red dress, I remember, and I walked in, and I was like, oh my gosh. I just immediately felt like, all right, yeah, this is what is this life?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just wove right into the denim of it. You know, it was just exactly what I was supposed to do. I've been a honky tonker ever since.
Yeah. And, well, once it's in you, I don't think it leaves.
Yeah, I don't think so either. It's like a terrible stain.
Yeah. So you released Bad Romantic.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that project, how that came about,
Yeah, sure.
who you were working with, because it's great all the way through. I love the record.
Thank you. Well, it was these little kitties over there having a good time. I put my first record out, Unladylike, in 2016, and then I put Bad Romantic out in 2021. So there's a big gap there. But Bad Romantic was recorded in Fort Worth at Nile City Sound, which is an analog studio, straight to tape. That's where Leon Bridges did his stuff, and I wanted to do it right there at home. And it's a compilation of songs I wrote, and songs my friend Simon Flory wrote. He wrote the title track, Bad Romantic, and then some songs. I'd put a cover on there of one of my favorite songwriters, Brennan Lee. She's an amazing songwriter. I don't want to say an amazing female songwriter because she's an amazing songwriter.
Yeah,
and
all together,
around,
yeah.
And then I put Linda Hargrove's song on there to highlight a female songwriter. She wrote Tennessee Whiskey with Dean Dillon.
Okay.
Yeah, she was an amazing songwriter that I think is really overlooked in songwriting. So I put one of her songs on the album just so I can talk about her all the time. So yeah, and Bad Romantic is just a time. It came from a time of my life when I was feeling a little more confident in myself, and quitting my job and just deciding that I wasn't gonna be what I ought anymore. I'm just gonna go what my gut told me to do.
Yeah. And
which led me sitting in this chair right now.
And you hear that in the songs for sure.
Good.
We're
about to go in the studio for the next one here in a couple of weeks.
Good. That's what I was going to next. There's been some time, so I was wondering and hoping that you would be writing and getting out there.
Oh, I've been writing a ton. I'm in this songwriter group, so we have to turn in a song every week. So I'm sitting on about 60 songs right now.
Wow.
They are not all good, but it's I've been writing a ton. So my next album, in my mind, generally is going to be geared toward songwriting. Less of a honky tonk power record, and it's still going to be country because of who I am.
Right.
But there'll be songs I'm pretty proud that I wrote.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's still paying homage to what you were about, but also you got a little different sound, a little different edge to it.
Well, a little maybe just a not acoustic, but it's just gonna be lyric driven.
Okay.
Really lyric. I'm gonna concentrate a lot on picking the most well written songs. So that's what we're doing right now. Okay. We're culling those 60 songs down to 12.
Man, what a
it's fun, man.
It.
This is fun, this part's fun. And then the recording is fun, and then we get into the business, and that part's not so fun. But we also get into touring, so that's good.
I'd imagine that narrowing it down to 12, then I'd be like next day changing like half of them.
Man, you want to. It's never done. Just like a painter, you never feel like it's done, But somebody told me one time, an album is just this time in your life. This is a moment. This is how we recorded it this day. Yes. So don't put too much thought into it being so final. You can always re-record them. You can rewrite them. Somebody else can do these songs later. It's just just pick what you like, what feels good, and keep going.
That's
don't
great.
Get too far into it.
Great advice for anyone listening that's writing because I feel that way about music. It's a moment in time, and you capture it, and you can take it however. But there's a lot of artists out there that just nitpick it, over-analyze to where it's almost like too production, and then it loses its edge.
It's impossible not to do that.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Because you want perfection, but at the same time, you kind of want that grit to make it stand out a little different.
I went into the bunker down outside Lockhart with Bruce Robeson and recorded in his studio, and there wasn't a computer in the room. We're straight to tape, not going to dump to Pro Tools later, just recording straight to tape, live takes all the way through. And if y'all don't know, a lot of times when mainly a vocalist will punch parts. So if there's a part, we can sing it 15 times and take this part and put it here and take this part, put it here and puzzle together the perfect take, right?
Right.
And but when we were recording at the bunker, it was live. And so how you recorded was just what you recorded was what you took.
Right.
They're right then. However you sang it, that's how it is. That's how we played it. That's how we took it. And I think that does two things. Recording live and straight to tape like that. Number one, it makes me do my best. Like I'm really concentrating, my phrasing, my pitch, everything, trying to the delivery and trying to do that perfect. So you're concentrating really hard, but at the same time, you're letting go of perfection. And I think when any artist does those two things, you're doing your best, like you're concentrating, but you're letting go of perfection. I think that's going to be your best work.
Yeah.
You know, your most authentic work. And so
there's something honest about that.
Yeah, there's something really honest. Yeah. And it's just also a fun artistic experience. You know, and you can go into a studio and do a perfectly, beautifully produced record. Or you can go in and play your songs into some beautiful vintage mics and record it and be done. You know, and it's fun either way. It's just that I think as an artist, you kind of get excited about different ones. You know, oh, we're going to produce it. We're going to make a beautifully produced record. It's like, nah, this one's going to be raw with mistakes. And it just, there's no one better than the other. Just two different ways to do it, you know?
Yeah. I never really thought of, until you said that, as far as like recording that way. Because if you do it digitally, you know you can just redo it or mix. So you're not really trying to put all your best in it because you're like, I can fix it later, sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to spend too much time getting. You got to do a good job either way.
Right.
You know, but yeah, if you're using Pro Tools and like if you're doing it digitally, you can piece together the perfect take. You can go back and sing one word 15 times until you sing it perfectly, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Pronounce it correctly this time.
And there's nothing wrong with that,
Right.
you know. And sometimes you get different feels, and we're like, oh, that was the take. Let's use that take. You know, it's just different ways of doing it. I may be letting down the fourth wall a little bit on what it's like in the studio, but that's okay.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So another big hit that you hooked up with Colter Wall and made a beautiful song.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I mean, everyone loves Colter. How can you not?
Oh, I know. Yeah, I'm real lucky that came.
How'd that work out?
Well, Colter and I are buddies, and I had written the verse that I sing on that song, and I just took a chance and texted him and said, yeah, you wouldn't want to write this with me and maybe do a duet, I don't know. And I didn't really have any plan. I didn't know what we would do. I just... you know, he's just my friend.
Run with it,
yeah, he's just my friend. I thought, what's the worst that can happen is nothing. And Colter is a extremely nice dude, and whatever, he's an asshole. Never mind. No, I'm just kidding. He's extremely nice, extremely nice guy. And he said, yeah, it's my birthday, but give me 24 hours. I'll write you a verse. So sure enough, the next day he sang into his phone the verse that he sings on the album, and I finished it, wrote the chorus and everything, and then I can't believe he agreed to do it, but we both flew in for tour, and he was about to play Willie's Picnic, and we recorded it in Fort Worth, and there it is. Yeah, I feel extremely lucky. I know what a small artist like me, I know what recording with him does for me, and I'll forever be grateful for letting me ride his coattails, but I know he's proud of the song too, and he loves country music, and so I'm glad he's proud of it.
Yeah, but I was fortunate enough when he came to town back in Indiana. After the show, I was kind of chatting with some of the guys, and they invited us to the little after party at this. We have a little honky tonk called Duke's Indy.
Duke's, yeah, of course.
Oh. It's a beautiful place. I wish we had like 100 of them in the state.
It's a great place.
Unique.
Yeah. R.I.P. Dustin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man, Dustin was a sweetheart.
He sure was.
But we went up there and I got to hang out with Colter for about a half hour chatting.
Yeah.
And yeah, super nice.
Yeah, normal dude. He's a normal guy. Yeah.
I trap coyotes, so we were talking about trapping.
Nice.
And
yeah.
that sort of thing.
Yeah. You know, one of my favorite things about people ask about him a lot. I guess he's mysterious. I don't know, and but he's extremely funny, and he's a real funny guy. But you know, Colter is a successful musician, and that's an anomaly. It's hard to be successful as a musician, and
Absolutely.
and he is one, and he did well. And instead of buying a bunch of buses and just feeding the monster, he took time off and bought a ranch and it's running cows.
I
you
love
know?
that.
Yeah, and
He
I appreciate
turned down
that
Joe
about-
Rogan's podcast.
Well,
The ranch is what the rumor is.
well, I'm just I'm proud of him and proud of him for just being who he is and listening to his gut and doing what he thinks right. So
Yeah.
he's good at that.
Be yourself. And
Yeah.
Speaking of that song, I should probably bring this up too. Outside of this podcast, I started a radio show. It's only available online, but it just started. At first episode, there's an hour long, 15 songs. I do a little commentary in between. I put that song on there, have you guys on there singing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to it's called the Coyote Radio Show.
Coyote Radio Show. Nice.
And I'm bringing some old stuff and new stuff. It's got everything from like the Carter Family to what you guys did to
yeah, that's cool.
bluegrass to all those genres we talk about under one umbrella.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's like a playlist on Spotify with commentary, more or less. But
Sure. I've done those. They're fun. Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be spinning your stuff on there as much
Thanks.
as possible and get spread the word.
I'll make sure and get you the new stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, when it comes out.
Good.
Once we record it.
Yeah.
But it's coming.
That'd be great. So you're now full time in all this, like you said. What's the touring life been like? So where are you?
Expensive.
Oh, yeah. Gas too and all that.
Crazy. Yeah. Hotels. It's nuts. It's crazy. So y'all may be seeing me touring solo a lot.
Yeah.
Which is tour's
unique.
Great.
Like that's great.
Oh yeah, tour's fun. I love touring. It's weird. I like playing for people that have never heard of me. But the goal is that people do hear of you and come to your show. So it's a weird thing. That's why I like opening for people. I enjoy playing. I enjoy them not knowing who I am and get up and play in my show, and that's fun to me. Touring is awesome. We're about to go on a tour. I go out with Jesse Daniel here in a few weeks.
Oh, he'll be in Dukes on Friday. I'm interviewing
Nice.
Jesse.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Jody, yeah.
We start with them on July 27th, and we go up the middle. And then we're going going to Oklahoma and Kansas and Missouri, Nebraska, Iowa, and back down. And then I'm home for a few days. I got to go to Oregon real fast, and then the next tour starts in mid-August. That's my full band. And August we're going up the West Coast, over to Montana, and then down to Colorado and back down. So that's mid-August to mid-September.
So yeah, you're gonna be busy.
Yeah, we're about to be busy, but it's great. It's great. You know, it's fun. It's I want to tour so much that I don't want to tour. That's what I told my agent. I was like, let's make me busy enough that I don't want to be busy.
Yeah, burn it out.
Let's burn it out. I want to be burned out. Yeah, I want to hate it. Let's do it so much. But it's fun, and I like playing festivals like here at Byrd's Creek. I like playing this festival because there's a lot of bluegrass here, and bluegrass is the ultimate palate cleanser for me. I love it. It's so visceral and so roots bound that I love it. So
yeah,
this is a blast. Yeah.
This place, anyone listening, you need to come to this before. Who knows what it could turn into, or if he changes it or whatnot. But this is a little gem of a festival.
Man, it's at his house.
Yeah,
his house is the green room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
His living room's awesome. It looks
and
like an antique store.
Rolling
with all
hills
this cool
and
stuff.
farms and a storm and
there's a creek down here.
A creek,
you can swim in.
Yes, and cornfields, and it's just this is a great festival.
Yep.
Yeah, I hope they have me back.
This is my second year here. I was here last year and fell in love with it. And
yeah.
He asked me to come do this, so it's been great ever since. Built a good friendship.
Yeah.
So we kind of talked about music. I want to hear more a little bit about this ranch life.
Okay. Well, I'm the fourth generation. We're in Clay County where we run Red Angus cattle now. I live on it. So my great granddad, it's all started from them. My granddad lived on it, and after he passed away, my parents moved in. So it kind of rolls by generations. My parents are running it now. And yeah, my dad is a real range and pasture guy, and he believes in raising grasses. If you raise good grass, then you're going to raise good cattle. But the big thing out there now is rain. Our tanks are so low, and it's so dry out there, and it's a real problem. If we run out of water, then we got to sell cows. So it's a really, there's always something on the ranch. There's always something. But yeah, I grew up in that small town ranchy Texas life, and a kind of funny story about growing up that way. My friends in Fort Worth, we were all at a happy hour one time. I'm one of the only kind of Western people and person in my group of friends, and they were talking about their emo phase, and I didn't know what emo meant. I'd never heard that word. That's a humble brag to me, but I'd never heard that word, and I was like, "What's emo? What's emo phase?" And they said, "Oh, it's emo, like emotional, like Good Charlotte, It's like, oh, like hair, And I was like, oh yeah, no, I never had an emo phase. Like my emo phase was Reba and Rocky Mountains and lace ups. Like I didn't have an emo phase. Like I've been this my whole life. But where I'm from, that's just it wasn't different. Where I'm from, it was just the way it was. Didn't know any different, But I'm grateful to be from a ranching heritage, and I'm grateful to know about those things. And my brother and I will work our damnedest to make sure the generation after us runs it too, But right now, my mom and dad are there doing it in their 70s.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How big a ranch is it?
Oh, in the South, we don't really tell acres. Yeah, that's a thing. But
secret.
Yeah, well, it's not necessarily secret. It's kind of like it's a good thing. It's a good thing for people to know. You don't ever ask how many acres or how many head. It's kind of like saying, "Oh, how much money do you make?" Or
I
like,
never
"How
thought of it that
successful
way."
are you?" Yeah. So, but our place, it was bigger when my granddad died. It kind of had to cut in half because of generational things. But that happens. But we're no small beans. We're definitely not one of the big ranches in Texas or anything.
Yeah. Some of them,
But it's a family business, and we're proud of it. My brother lives in South Texas right now, and he has Dean and Peeler Meatworks, and they do meat. So it's just beef is part of it. It's just the way that we have it for Thanksgiving,
No turkey? Beef?
Oh, I mean
both.
Yeah, both. Yeah, exactly.
Variety.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I love all that. I love all that lifestyle. I grew up showing hogs in the 4-H farm.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Me and my wife, girlfriend at the time, we were high school sweethearts, and that's.
Oh, neat.
We kind of do the outdoorsy thing. Then we got a garden now. And but never had any cow. We were living at a place for a while, and they had Black Angus behind us, so we would help kind of tend. Make sure everything was good.
Sure.
Something get out.
And I don't know much about ranching outside of Texas all that much. I know everybody does it differently, and it's all right. It's just all different. But I know the average size herd in Texas is a lot smaller than people think. So small operations are what makes it keep going. So just because somebody may not be running a big old ranch doesn't mean they're not successful cattle ranchers.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, cattle raisers. We're not as much horse people. My granddad was a little bit more than my parents, but we're cattle people. We run cows through little Polarises and make it work that way. We use horses when we need to, like when we're branding and stuff. But other than that, it's a pretty simple operation. A dry operation, but simple.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time.
Oh yeah.
Nice meeting you finally.
Yeah, thanks.
Check it out, Summer Dean. She's got new music on the way at some point, so keep your ears open.
It'll be soon. It's just starting.
I'll
no
be
dates
sharing
yet.
it on this page when I know about it. So.
Okay, perfect.
So yeah, we'll catch you next time.
Adios, y'all.